You know, when people use the term like black pill, I was like, well, is it the truth? You know, because if it's the truth, then it's not a black pill. It's helping you kind of deal with reality.
Mm.
And in a lot of what like his argument with me was, you're not giving me solutions. And I was presenting solutions, but the issue was the solutions weren't within the range of the outcomes that he was looking for. You know, and I find this with a lot of libertarians, well, a lot of people in general, I guess. I don't know if it's because we, for the most part, grew up in a time where we had this kind of feeling like everything was always going to be okay. And maybe even our parents had it, you know, okay, there was a Cuban Missile Crisis, but everything kind of turned out. And even though you see this decline in society, at the end of the day, you always had something to eat and, you know, and whatever else. And people kind of grew up with that. And it's like ingrained. It makes you forget that bad things can happen, and bad things certainly have happened the world over. So if someone like Jason is telling you, hey, man, you got to get your stuff together. You got to be ready to move from this place or that place, you know, and because, you know, some bad stuff. If Ben Armani is telling you to build the ark, any number of those kind of prescriptions, those are just outside of, well, this is how we stop tyranny, you know, and that's not what people are exactly looking for. People have this idea, I don't know if it's based on school or like the American Revolution or just this idea of democracy, that you can do something to affect change. There always needs to be something that's prescriptive, that involves the individual getting out there and bringing about the world that, you know, someone who has no position of power, you're just going to make what you want happen somehow. You will never have to have a choice of like two bad things, or like a bad thing and a less bad thing. And that's a lot of life. I don't know how much, you know, I don't know how you make it to 25 without realizing that that's like the reality, but that's the reality of a good portion of life. And I was trying to tell my friend, it's just like, man, if you're like a marathon runner and you want to like increase your VO2 max and you want to get your times down, but man, your times just kind of keep going up, and you go to the doctor and you're just like, hey man, I don't know what I got going on, something respiratory, do I need an antibiotic? Do I need like an inhaler? Do I have asthma? That would really suck. I'm a marathon runner. I've got a big race coming up. And he tells you that you have lung cancer. Like that might suck, but if it's true, it's important, right? And like your prescription for moving forward might be like, hey, there's good, it, you know, doesn't look like it's metastasized, you know, so we're going to do some surgery, and then you've got recovery, and then blah, blah, blah. And then, you know, like maybe a year or so, you get back to kind of like, you know, running marathons again, you know, and hey, you know, you'll be able to coach your kid running marathons. And the guy's like, no, you don't understand. I'm not trying to hear that. I have a race this weekend and I need to get my times down. It's just like, look, man, you got to adjust your paradigm. I don't know what about living through, you know, 2020 hasn't told people that they need to adjust the way that they think. But I mean, I think it's obvious and becoming more obvious, you know, to be fair to a lot of people, that they do.
I really like that analogy. The analogy that reality is reality, whether you like it or not. And if you're going to, if you have lofty goals, especially because I think libertarians tend to, like, this is what I realized: that libertarianism isn't far enough outside the box. That's kind of the point I got to. I felt like when I got to the point of ANCAP, I felt like I'd hit the basement. I hit the foundation level, but then it's kind of like I was pushing on the floor, and I realized there's some flex to it, and there's actually something underneath it. I peeled up the floorboards and realized that, you know, there's an entire world underneath those floorboards that I hadn't even considered was there. That's the libertarianism is at the furthest fringe of acceptable opinion. It's at the furthest fringe of the acceptable range of ideologies, and ultimately libertarians share a worldview with the people they claim to be opposed to. They share the same fundamental principles and the same fundamental values. Ultimately, libertarianism is like it's liberalism taken to its fullest extent.